into kind of an interview space where I'll be asking Dustin about his experience with the topic of perseverance, which he has a lot of. And if anyone has any questions at any point that come up for them, they can share them through the chat, and Robin will be moderating the chat box and sending me questions as they come up. So feel free to ask away. I'm going to start by introducing myself. We have a lot of players coming on from indoor. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Shanti, and I played indoor for Red Rock most of my career. And after my sophomore year of high school, I committed to UCLA for beach volleyball, and I helped them win their first national championship in 2018. And then I went on to pursue some professional ball and played in the Manhattan AVP the past couple years. I've been coaching with Red Rock for over 5 years, and I recently began directing the beach summer program. So that's a little bit about me. Now what I'm more excited for is to share with you guys some about our guest here, Dustin Watten. Thank you so much for being here. Dustin played for Long Beach State, and he initially got on the team as a walk-on, but he ended up graduating as an All-American in 2009, and he set multiple Long Beach State records his senior year, including 358 total digs and 3.25 digs per game. He had the most matches with 10 or more digs in a single season, and the most matches with 10 or more digs in his whole college career. He won gold medals at the 2012, 2010, and 2009 Pan American Cups, silver medal at the 2011 Pan American Cup teams, including Poland, Finland, France, Brazil, Germany. He has a bronze medal with Team USA in the 2015 FIVB World League and a gold medal in the 2015 FIVB. Welcome to Red Rock's interview show. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I'm so excited to dive in with you. How are you doing today?
Amazing, having the best day ever. Back from Poland, even though the quarantine in Poland was actually pretty great. I was able to spend a lot more time with my girlfriend there and do some more creative work, but great. The big term for me right now is pivot. It's pivot. And just realizing those things which I like to talk about, this dichotomy of control, those things which are completely in our control, those things that are not completely in our control, and just realizing what are those things in my control. What's not in my control, being cut from my Polish team, not having playoffs, no USA, not getting paid by money I thought I would have, not being able to do a lot of things that I enjoyed with my friends and family. What's in my control, my ability to set goals, my intention, waking up every day with my purpose, finding gratitude, and then just choosing to be of value and spending my time and, hopefully giving value back to younger athletes and finding ways where I can share my journey in a meaningful way and to help give athletes the tools to be their best versions of themselves, maybe quicker than they initially thought.
I love it. You talk a lot about utilizing every single moment as an opportunity to improve yourself, both on and off the court. So I want to ask you about, the topic that's on everyone's mind, coronavirus. It's affecting everyone. It's completely changing how people are just living their day-to-day lives, how athletes are training. What obstacles have you personally been facing due to Corona, and what silver linings are you finding within them?
Right. So my big thing is, and again, throughout my career, I've been able to achieve a lot, right? But there's really no value in me talking about that. I think if anything, there's more value in my failures and really learning through my failures, through my suffering, and then also through some like self-inflicted suffering. I love this story, this parable by the Buddha, talking about the story of two arrows. The first hurts, the second hurts even tenfold. But you know what? We're the shooter of the second arrow. It's our reaction to the situation. And so for me, I've lost, my season going to playoffs. It was arguably one of the best seasons I've had as an individual, best seasons I've been on a team, losing lots of money, which, it's great. It's not the priority, but that money can turn to energy. I can do things with it. Lots of money, losing USA, no more of that. But it's up to me to not just react, but to respond diligently, and to respond with a clear mind and curiosity to see what this opportunity is allowing me and how I can be of service, arguably at a deeper level. And being of service for me is really important, to be able to share. I like writing a lot. When I write to my younger self, and again, kind of giving those tools that I wish I had when I was younger. But for me, the opportunity has been of service to others. And that's kind of where I'm pivoting. Just yesterday, I just kind of decided on a whim, but it sounds right. It's a little out of control, but all the money I'm going to make, I'm just going to give it back to the volleyball community. Starting in Poland, I decided to donate to 8 teams, 1,000 zlotys, which not so much money, but giving to 8 teams in Poland, and then just seeing how I can connect either with my time and Zooming and being of value there, or the products I'm selling, and then working with college coaches that are paying me money, and then just taking all that money and then donating it back, and just seeing what it would be like if I pivoted and just took everything I knew that was important to me and give it back.
That's so inspiring that you're able to keep such a mindset of abundance in a time where so many of us are feeling so uncertain and scared for what's coming next. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for giving back so much. So what is your day-to-day training kind of look like in the face of Corona? Are you able to stay motivated, being inside all the time? What do you do on days when you're not motivated to train?
Yeah, it's been unique, right? And so once again, it's almost like a level training field where nobody's training. I could take this time to continue to train different ways. But for me, it's most important. And I've kind of learned this throughout my journey. When I was younger, I got a late start on volleyball. And so for my ability to catch up, I just played every moment I could. Played beach, went home, taught my younger brother how to pepper, hit the ball off the wall. I draw these bullseyes in my parents' house, put it on my wall, my brother's wall, set myself, try to set the bullseye. I was just always playing, right? Now, what I know, again, after failing, having setbacks and roadblocks, that there's a lot of different ways we can work. More intention, being more mindful, being more creative. Throughout my years, it's turned from, just reading books about mindset, sports psychology, adopting a plant-based diet, starting to meditate, journaling, learning about stoicism, and going deeper into philosophy. And, just focusing more so on the things that are within my control, my internal path. And especially with regards to creating space. I talk a lot about space in between stimulus and response. So creating more space through meditation. And only last week, I played a little 4-man on a private beach. I try to stay with volleyball, and again, just kind of pivot and just see how I can give during this time. And so just keeping my body in shape by working out, and then keeping my mind in shape by making sure I meditate and journal.
Can you talk a little bit more about what do you mean by the space within, and how meditation can help you cultivate that, or the space between?
Yeah. So the space between, it's like, in between stimulus and response. So stimulus may be, a block, hitting out, getting aced. And what is our response? What's our reaction? When I was younger, I didn't have any space. And so I wasn't able to respond. I reacted. I would, if you saw me on the beach, I had long blonde hair, you can imagine, very skinny, and I had a foul mouth. I had this attachment to how things should go. And that was for me to play well and for me to be a winner. When those things didn't manifest, I lost it. I would curse. I would throw balls. Sometimes I would punt balls, right? I didn't have any space, and so I wasn't able to respond to my highest version. Instead, I reacted. This knee-jerk reaction, right? Same thing, someone cuts you off, you honk the horn. It's the reaction. There's no space. The best players in the world, whether they train it or not, but they have space in between something that doesn't go their way or their personal preference, and then the next ball. And so we're talking to teams and working with teams and clubs and multiple meetings. It's like, how can we help the athletes, the team, the club at whole to be more present? What are the tools where they can be more present? Instead of giving up runs a point, it's, lose a point, but come back. Lose a point, okay, come back. Instead of lose a point, lose a point, lose a point, lose a point. Because emotionally, we are so susceptible to the external circumstances, which again, we don't have complete control over. Someone acing us and hitting the tape and goes over, it's not in our control. So a lot of different things in volleyball that is not completely in our control, even though we believe naively that it's within our control.
So how has stoicism kind of played into your response to things that like aren't in your control? Is that something that, and you mentioned that in volleyball, there's so much out of our control. It's the same way in life. So that pause between, it's a really powerful realization to come to when you start seeing like, I have a choice in how I respond. Has stoicism kind of been a part of that transformation for you? And if so, how has it been integrated into your day-to-day life?
Absolutely. So kind of like the story the Buddha talked about, the second arrows and stoicism, they align quite often. The big thing is just having more tranquility and less suffering. And we can do that by being conscious of those things that are completely within our control. Some things that are not completely within our control, someone's perception of me not starting, getting pulled out of a game, even me not playing well. There's 11 other players on the court. There's a lot of other factors for me to play well. I can't walk on the court, push a button, and say, I'm going to play well today. The team not winning. What are some things that are completely within our control? Our ability to be a great teammate. That is completely within our control. On the court, off the court, we have a decision. It's our choice. We can either be like this, because again, we don't have space, right? We're just reacting. It's not fair. I should be playing. And I've done this too. And recently. Or, this past year when I got pulled out, they put a younger libero in for defense. And initially I'm like, how could he? That's not right. Again, this is like the second arrow. Ridiculous. What does he know about volleyball? I look to the bench hoping to see people like, what's going on? Why are you out? And, but I was still in for serve receive. So we're still kind of switching in and out. And I was just so angry. And then I realized, whoa, it's my choice. I have a choice, right? The coach made a decision. That's his decision. I can't control that. By pouting, it's not going to help anything. If anything, it's going to make it worse. And I realized that this younger libero, he works hard. He grinds. He's a good teammate. Why shouldn't I support him? Will we both not have success? Does he have to have failure for me to have success? And vice versa. And so just being more conscious, we can live with more tranquility and inflict less suffering on ourselves.
I love that. I love how you've been able to shift your perspective out of like, what's in it for me, into how can I support those around me? And, where can I find a space of empowerment in responding to whatever life brings me? You talk a lot about all the challenges you've faced throughout your career and on your social media. If I may read a post that you made. I waited 6 years in the USA gym to earn my first roster spot in 2015. For 6 years, I committed myself to the grind, preparing my mind and body every day to the best of my knowledge, with the belief that one day I would get my opportunity. Every day, week, month, year, I was all in, consistently finding any and every edge outside the court that would help me be more prepared and confident upon returning to the court. Meditating, journaling, using stoicism as a daily compass, extra reps when I didn't get in drills, investing in visualization, adopting a whole foods plant-based diet. Moment after moment, there is an opportunity offered to you to align yourself towards your highest version, a step to take towards the man or woman you believe you can be. Wow. The level of perseverance you embody is just out of this world. What keeps you going in the face of all the rejection that you've had in your past? Have you always been this driven?
From a young age, I just had a big passion for volleyball and just curiosity for a better day. Because when I first started, I was so bad. I first started in high school, and then I made a club team, after my high school season and freshman year. And then I realized I was going to JOs. What's that? I heard Junior Olympics. I was like, wow, amazing. Get to Junior Olympics, and we were in the second division, and we ended up getting last. And so I started from the very bottom. I was very fortunate that my parents kind of threw me into a growth mindset. And after the game, it wasn't like you're a winner, you're a loser, or even just celebrating. They would tell me either we're proud how you competed, we're not proud how you competed. It was something that was always within my control. And so it didn't matter if I was a winner or loser, something, again, that I don't have complete control over. It was how I competed, and that was up to me. And there were some times where they tell me, we're not proud how you competed because I was a little punk and I didn't really know how to control my emotions and my attachment to winning, right? We have this attachment and clinging. We don't get it. Now we suffer. Sometimes we make other people suffer. And, a lot of people were like, oh, you're so tough, this and that. But really, I was just afraid, as a professional, I was just afraid to lose this status, this image of Dustin Watten, Team USA. And so I was just relentless in finding solutions, and I'm not so proud of that, being so attached to my status or who I was kind of like what moved me, and just to be relentless. And okay, I failed, like find a better solution, find a better way, find a more mindful way, find a more creative way. And that's just led me down so many different rabbit holes that I continue to pursue and really helped me be the best athlete and I think the best human I can be. While, there's still so much for me to learn.
What was the most difficult obstacle you faced throughout your career? Is there kind of a recurring theme that you have, and how do you get up the courage to face it and overcome it?
Yeah, great question. I think from a young age in middle school, all my friends went this way and I went that way. And so in high school, I really didn't have a lot of friends, really not at all. To the point where a lot of times for lunch, I would eat lunch in my dad's classroom because I just didn't really have a circle I fit in with. But you know what? This kind of allowed me that space to really pursue my craft and play beach every day and just learn. And so I'm slowly recognizing that a lot of the choices I make can be from lack and just wanting to make people happy, wanting to fit in, wanting to align with what I believe people will perceive me in the best light will be. And so I think trying to go away from that and what people perceive of me, knowing that I can't control this, and knowing that more or less my actions I do make will be aligned with my best version.
That's powerful. It's, in general, like having a vision for where we want to go. It can really change how we perceive every single day that we live. And I love the mindset that you have, that every moment is an opportunity, especially the failures and the obstacles we face. It's so true. It's really where a lot of my personal growth has come from, is in those dark times when it feels like, nothing good is going to come out of it when you're in it. But if you can only see and find that silver lining, that this is only trying to make you stronger, it's really going to be in your best interest long term to have that perspective. I know that you've dealt with your share of injuries. How are those injuries different from other obstacles that you faced throughout your career? And how has the practice of meditation or stoicism helped you to overcome the challenges that coming back from an injury have brought up for you?
Patience, right? Patience, not grasping, clinging to this attachment that I should be playing. Why am I not playing? I'm not getting better. And then again, being creative, finding visualization, with that time, reading more visualization. Visualization is so big. There's so many great studies on the benefits of visualization for whether shooting free throws, playing the piano, or for downhill skiers and not actually doing anything, but still benefiting from it. And so the big thing is just, again, patience and what can I do? What is in my control? And you know what, sometimes through injuries, we get even more creative or find ourselves down different paths that we would have never gone if we were healthy. And once we come back from that injury, now we've established something so beneficial, it becomes a habit.
Yeah. Yeah, I know for me, my first serious injury was my first year at playing for UCLA. Before the season even started, I had a chip of bone come out of my ankle, and I wasn't walking for 2 months. I wasn't playing for 4 months, but it was really a time where I got to know my body on a whole other level, on a more intimate level. I got to really understand how everything worked together, and one thing coming out of the chain, my ankle, affected everything up the chain. And it really brought me into, a deeper respect for my body. And I found yoga, and I found a deeper connection, at least with my meditation practice. And so for me, yoga and meditation became a ritual and a part of my routine, becoming before tournaments, which would help me get in the mindset. And it's not something that I would have found without that injury. So I have a lot of gratitude for that. So I am going to start picking out some questions from our audience. People responded to our sign-up sheet with lots of curiosities. We have a lot of young players looking to play in college, and we have some people who are curious to know how you got college coaches' attention when it came to showcasing your skills as a libero. And do you have any advice for people trying to prepare for college right now?
Great question. I was actually speaking with the University of Hawaii libero. Kind of the same thing, where he's looking to go to be a professional, for high school students looking to be collegiate. Just going full in those things within your control, right? Being a great communicator, being aggressive, going for every ball, taking as much court as possible. When you show these traits, colleges coaches are going to pick up on, who is that? They're so aggressive. They're so confident. They're such great communicators. You can't control how you're going to play in that game, right? You control how you act, how great of a teammate you are, how quick you are to pick someone up. These actions you can control 100%. And then everything else is just in your preparation. And people ask me, how do I prepare? My preparation usually starts on Monday, if not Saturday night after the game. So just your ability to prepare all throughout the week. And again, every moment we have a choice to live in alignment with our greatest version of ourselves, what we believe we can be. Something crazy, an Olympian, 4-time Olympian, 12-time Olympian, something wild, right? I love to set my goals high because it's not necessarily a salvation, because there really is no salvation in life. There's no finish line, but just to use it as a compass. How would a 4-time Olympian train? Ask myself that question. I'll know the answer. Same thing for you. What would a D1 athlete train like now during quarantine? Be working, right? Probably very curious. Can I learn from journaling? What about this meditation? I've heard some stuff about it. What about visualization, stretching, learning more about my body, rolling, maybe doing yoga, right? And so this question. You have to ask it yourself. But going back on the court, those things that you can control, being aggressive, being a great communicator, being a great teammate, whether you're on or off the court, coaches will notice that. And that's how I got noticed.
Yeah. And just for those of you who don't know Dustin, he is extremely supportive on and off the court. That's something that I noticed about you. In the first month of knowing you, it just seemed like me as a friend. And there's a tournament that I was playing. He happened to be in the area, saw that I was playing it, just dropped by and brought a smoothie for me. So many random acts of kindness. You just seem to go out of your way to support other people. Is that something that's been inherent in who you are? Is that something that you kind of had to develop throughout your
I
career?
think I was just lucky. My parents and my grandparents were all teachers, and so it's just this patience and nurturing characteristics. A lot from my mom, who teaches first graders, and then also I think a lot of it stems from when I was in high school, I really didn't have a lot of friends, and so I always want to go out and to let people know that they're valued, to let people know that they're doing great things, and especially now, we're so good at hiding our emotions and our feelings. And I know this because so many people write me on Instagram, I'm sad, I'm kind of depressed, anxious when I play volleyball. I feel so ashamed sometimes. And, I feel it's my responsibility to always go out of my way and to let people know that they are loved and that they are enough, because I believe personally, I've been conditioned to feel that I'm not enough, I'm not loved. But in our society, if I buy this, if I have this, I have a girlfriend, then, maybe I'll feel closer to being whole. And so I think a lot of us are kind of on that route. The Stoics talk about this a lot, the hedonic adaptation. And so again, it's something within my control to always err in love, always err in compassion, to always reach my hand up to pick up a friend or even a stranger.
You've transformed a lot. Is there something you wish you could have gone back and told your younger self, you would have known when you're younger?
I think I had to learn some of the lessons. I was a little out of control when I was younger. And again, it just came from my insecurity of not feeling loved, of not having friends. I wanted to err in some ways where I believed that I would be supported and people would look up to me. And there was definitely times where I went too far down that path. I was very lucky. I had a great coach and Alan Knipe, the coach that just won the last 2 NCAA championships at Long Beach, who supported me with tough love, where a lot of coaches would just kick a player out. And so I believe that I was lucky to go through these experiences. But the one thing I would always recommend to whether it be myself or a younger athlete is waking up in the morning, 5 minutes meditation, another 3 minutes journaling, end the day with another 3 minutes of journaling, and boom, just like that, much more intentional, more space to align ourselves and our actions, our ability to respond to the person we believe we want to be. For me, I want to be as loving, as compassionate, as understanding as possible. Sometimes it's difficult, but the more space I have, the more clear I can be, the more time I have to respond rather than reacting. Again, it's just like the example. Someone cuts you off, and most people honk. Someone cuts me off, okay, maybe that person has somewhere to go. I've done it as well. Maybe someone's in the hospital. Having that space rather than just that knee-jerk reaction.
How does your journaling practice support your growth? Is that something?
I love it.
Yeah.
I think I quote it perfectly. So I have a journal, and I think kind of along with my decision yesterday, I've been selling this journal, and it's been doing pretty well. But I think now, again, just the goal of being of as much service to the volleyball community, I'll give you guys a link. With that link, I believe there's an option for a pay what you want. And so if you can, and donate back to me, because again, everything I'm taking is going to go back to the volleyball community. That'd be amazing. And if you don't have the money, or even if you don't want to donate, then it's fine. You can get it for free. And so in that journal, it's a PDF and a Word document, explains how you journal, every question, what you go through, and then also 21 articles on mindfulness, presence, and a little stoicism as well. So how I start the day, 3 things that I'm grateful for, right? For me, it's not to be happy, to have a full glass, not even a glass half full. It's that I have a glass. I have a glass. And how beautiful is that? I have a roof. I have a sun outside of that roof. I have running water. I have fresh food. I have a healthy body. My family is healthy, right? Finding those things that are already in our life, reverting our cravings to what we already have. rather than that which we don't have. I think that's really powerful. So 3 things that I'm grateful for. What would be my focus or intention today? Usually I'll have that related to volleyball. Today I want to work on holding my platform. Today I want to work on going for every ball in defense, no matter how far. As a hitter, today I want to work on my shot selection. On my serve, I want to work on a lower toss. Having this intention, and Reed Pretty, a 4-time Olympian, told me this. Every day, have intention. And it's so powerful because a lot of times we go to practice and maybe we just forget. Or maybe we just don't know, and we just hope to have a good practice. Something, again, that's not completely within our control, right? And so by manifesting that intention, by writing it down, you stay clear to it, and you get a little better each and every day. And just a little bit better each day piles up over weeks, over months, over years. And I just love that improvement that I've made since I started journaling. 3 actions or tasks that are within my control. Today, I'm going to meditate. Today, I'm going to get to practice early. Today, I'm going to make 10 minutes to read. Today, I'm going to shut my phone off early so I get good sleep. Today, I'm going to learn how to cook with my mom or dad. Today, I'm going to watch a stretching video, right? What's our intention? Let's be clear. How can we grow on and off the court? Our days, our years, our months are made up of moments. Moment by moment, we have a choice in how we want to live. Maybe we do just want to watch Netflix all day, but probably the next day, we want to be a little more intentional, right? And so journaling is great for me. At the end of the day, how I recap, some things I find are really important for athletes. We're so perfect, right? We want to be perfect. As my coach said, Alan Knight, volleyball is a pursuit of perfection in an imperfect sport. And so when I first started journaling, I was with the national team receiving serves from the best servers in the world on the second team. And every day I left with, it didn't go well. This sucks, da-da-da-da-da. Again, this second arrow, right? And when I started doing this, 3 things that I'm most proud of today, it was difficult because some practices, nothing went well. But I forced myself to find 3 things I was proud of. You know what? I came to practice and I got early reps. I was a great communicator. And on defense, I went for every ball. 3 things that really have nothing to do with the outcome, but it was my intention going into practice. And I can look back and maybe I didn't take a huge step, but you know what? I'm taking steps. And I feel this really helps with burnout. Getting away from this fixed mindset where I'm either great and I'm happy, I'm bad and I'm not happy. And again, we can't control the outcomes. So what happens if we're lose? We get burnout. So find those things we're proud of. At the same time, being honest, right? We have to be honest with ourselves. What was the greatest test today? Maybe it was high float serves, It's tough for me too. What did I learn from it? I got to work on my tracking. I got to work on my feet and making sure I have more space in between my body. What do I want to improve tomorrow? I think I want to improve on float serve passing, especially high balls. What do I want to do differently tomorrow? I'm going to text the coach, see if I can come in 10 minutes early and get some extra reps. Boom. So honest with ourselves, we address the problem, the test, the challenge, however we want to frame it. And as quickly as we described the problem, we went to a solution, and then we went to intention for the next day. This is really powerful for after a tournament, maybe that didn't feel so great. Instead of having that tournament sit with you for 3 days, you find a solution, you find intention, and you know what? You're so stoked to get back to practice because rather than the failure dominating who you are, the failure becomes your greatest teacher. And so I love journaling so much. You're on mute.
Okay, sorry about that. Still figuring out some technical difficulties with Zoom. Thank you for that in-depth overview. There's a lot of powerful practices in there. One of them that you mentioned is the practice of celebrating, what's going well for us. But you also mentioned, setting goals and intentions for how to improve. And I think a lot of people fail to celebrate their accomplishments because they fear it'll put them in this mindset of stagnation. Okay, I've done enough. I've already arrived, and they won't continue pushing themselves if they get there. I'm personally a perfectionist as well. And so I also struggle with balancing celebrating what's going well and also, striving for that next goal. Why do you think it's important to celebrate what's going well, and how do you balance that with setting goals and intentions for what's next?
Yeah, so it's the process, focus on the process. It's not what did I accomplish, what did I succeed at, what am I proud of today? What was I proud on my journey, right? It could be, you can make like a visualization, like a journey across countries. Today we went over a mountain and I was proud of it. Today we went through the lake, what are we proud of on our journey? Because again, there's no salvation in life, even though I've believed it multiple times. I'm going to go to the Brazilian League. Oh, I've made it. I won a World Cup. Oh, I've made it, but reality comes back down. There's still going to be challenges that you have to process. And so just taking a moment and being like, great job. Because again, we're going to put so much burden and stress on ourselves already. So much of our thoughts are negative, right? This bad self-talk, this imposter syndrome. And so it's great to get away from it, find that abundance to start the day. And at the end of the day, find the little wins. It's not a complete huge win. I've done it. I have no more work to do. But it's just like, you know what? I'm on the right track. And I'm proud of how I went about today. And I lived in alignment to who I believe I can be.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah, it's really powerful to hear you talk about kind of how you balance, the feelings of gratitude, and also how you stay motivated and keep pushing yourself. It's something that's been a challenge for me throughout my career. So I'm definitely inspired hearing you talk about everything that you do to stay balanced in that respect. So, kind of coming to a close here with our conversation, I was curious, how do you see like the future of the sport kind of evolving after Corona? How do you think people's routines will change, and what advice do you have for players who are looking to take their game to the next level?
Yeah, I think right now it's just such a great opportunity with less stimuli. We don't have so much entertainment. We don't have sports for adults. We don't have, I won't say there's not a grind, but we have just more space, right? We have more space. What's important? Why is this happening? What should I learn about it, right? We have more space to look within. And for athletes as well, what am I doing right now? How can I best grow? And so that's why I'm trying to get out and just saying, you know what? I feel I have the responsibility to share everything I've learned throughout my career. Mm-hmm. When I was younger, it was just will. Play. Hit the ball off the wall. Go play beach. Hit the ball off the wall. And, I got to a point where that wasn't good enough. And I had to start bringing different edges outside the court. Reading, journaling. What am I eating? How does that food make me feel? Do I feel great? Do I recover? Am I inflamed when eating this? What does soda do to my body? Just finding more about my body, my environment, how I act well, how I can act in my highest self with my ability to rise every single day. And so I think it's a great opportunity. As you mentioned, it's very difficult, right? This moment is kind of like the fog. We kind of wake up, it's foggy, I don't like this. And it's just being patient, right? Mm-hmm. Being patient, seeing the opportunity that this could provide. Mm-hmm. Maybe there is no opportunity to grow, but we must be curious. We must be open. Mm-hmm. So I think people are going to be much more conscious, much more mindful. And I definitely think everyone's going to be very grateful to have the opportunity to play once again.
Yeah. Dustin, thank you so much for your time. You are truly such an inspiration to so many players, and we're super lucky to have had this time with you. Would you like to tell us a little bit about kind of your current projects right now, what you've been up to, how people can get involved with you? What are your offerings right now for the volleyball community?
So, like I mentioned, I've had a couple projects I've been working on that has been bringing me money as I am unemployed right now. But my epiphany kind of yesterday was just like, I'm going to survive. But there's a lot of programs and youth programs and that aren't going to survive. Athletes that maybe won't have a sport to go back to. And so I'm just trying to find those clubs throughout the world, starting in Poland where I played 3 years, and just to raise money, to give my own money. And also the hope is to raise money. I have a passing course that it's 50 minutes of world-class passers. And day 1, I talk about the split step. Day 2, I talk about individual arms, why we should wait longer to connect our arms, and talking about how we can move, and then most importantly, how we can create space. And so I can give you the website where I'm selling that. In a couple days, I'll release the digging version because the passing went so well and people started asking for more. So I've been grinding away creating a digging version, but all that, again, will go back to volleyball. And then I have a journal that usually I'm selling. And as I mentioned here, I'm just going to change it. Rather than $10, I'm just going to have it, if you want it free, you take it free. And if you want to make a donation, you can make a donation, no judgment, because the more people that have the journal, I think the more value I'm putting back. Maybe I don't necessarily have to give financial value, but there's other ways I hope I can bring value. And then just Zooming. I've done, I think, over 60 Zooms now. Most of them are for free. The colleges I've been Zooming with, I've been charging them, and now all that money will go back into the volleyball community as well. And so for me, it's just trying to be of service. And there's a couple ways with the passing course, digging course, the journal, and then just continuing to Zoom and to be of service to athletes, younger athletes, to do it for free. And then with colleges and university where it's a little more private setting, being able to charge them and then donate that money back.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dustin. You can find Dustin on Instagram at Dustin Watten, DustinWatten, where you can find his links to the programs that he was talking about, and also reach out for the book and the passing course info. Dustin, thank you so much again for your time. And yeah, it was awesome chatting with you.
Thank you so much. I'll give you the website, and then for anyone who maybe didn't ask a question, you prefer more of an individual setting, you can always write me. I respond to every message. Now it's a little crazy because I put it in social media that I would donate money to teams, and I have like 40 messages in my inbox, but I will respond. I believe I'm here to help, empower, bring back value any way I can. And I think I'm able to do this through the failures I've already gone through. And so I'm just happy to help any way I can, if I can.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So is the best way for people to get the book through, would you like to email that to us and we can email it out, the link for that?
I can write it here right now. So that's the website. After this call, I'll make the change to the journal to make sure you can get it for free if that's what you want. If you want to donate, you can pay your own price. And then also the video series is on there too. I think what I'll do, maybe I'll do day 1 on the video. I'll do the same thing where if you want to get it for free, get it for free. And so you can just download it and see what it's about and see if it resonates with you and can be of value to your journey, not being able to play and learning through video. Some of the best players in the world.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We have so many thank yous from the chat. So much gratitude for you. So inspirational. Thanks again, Dustin, for your time.
Thank you. And yet everything I've done is within you. I have nothing crazy about myself or my DNA. I lose to middles and line trips. I used to be so skinny. If you look on my Instagram, you can see how skinny I was in high school. Everything I've done is within you. And so just have that belief in yourself. Have a big belief and know that through failures, you're going to grow the most. And so view failures with a different lens, and anything is possible.